What's up guys, it's Cam coming at you from the 2-6. Welcome back to Carolina Fragrance Reviews. I hope all of you had a great Thanksgiving. Mine was actually extremely nice this year. And I know that some of you had like those mandatory lockdowns and stuff. We'll all be glad when that stuff is over with. I'm sure that you'll agree with me on that. Today I've got 10 designer fragrances that I'm extremely excited to be wearing this winter. Without no further ado, let's get into this. Before I jump into number 10, these are actually some fragrances that may have been featured maybe once, maybe twice, maybe not at all. So these are fragrances that have not actually been heavily in my rotations in the past, so that's why I'm super excited about these. Coming in at number 10 from the tobacco collection of Zara is Rich, Warm, and Addictive. This is such a, I love this fragrance. Such a great fragrance. It's sweet. You don't get a whole lot of tobacco in here. I don't even think that it's listed as a note. As a matter of fact, the only thing that I saw, I believe it was just like bourbon, peony, and rum. So if the tobacco's in here, I don't really get much of it. It's more of like a gourmandy, but it is dark, it is rich. It would pass for unisex, but it is just like really, really good. It doesn't seem like it's like too feminine and not too masculine. I know some people aren't crazy about it, but I love wearing it. The longevity is the only issue I have with it, but for 20 bucks you can't go wrong. And while it does last, it will definitely reel in some compliments and breaks through the cold during that small duration. The next fragrance is warm, spicy, smoky, and a little powdery. It's from Zedig Voltaire. This is Hump. I know this one's actually been getting a little bit of traction here lately, but I've been wearing it a lot and I absolutely love it. There's something about it that's kind of dark and mysterious to me, and it's a little bit different. It doesn't really smell like anything else. I can't, obviously a lot of times we'll say, well, this fragrance reminds me of this or it reminds me of that. You pick up little nuances here and there. I'm sure if I really just dissected it, I might be able to do that. But I find this to be a little bit unique. I like the smokiness about it. I like the darkness about it. This is not really going to be like a huge compliment puller, I don't think. Well, at least not for me. I mean, you might be getting 100. But I can't recall getting any compliments out of this, but this is one of those type of fragrances I just like to wear. It's masculine. It seems like, I don't know, there's like something about it just is like, kind of one of those testicular fortitude fragrances. Some of the notes in this are black pepper, vanilla, incense, and sandalwood. Next fragrance is a fresh, boozy, spicy leather fragrance, and I know for sure that I've never mentioned it on this channel, and I don't recall seeing anybody else talk about it. Now, I don't dive into everybody's catalogs, but I think I might have a little bit of a hidden gem. It is from Abercrombie & Fitch. This is Fierce Reserve. Now, this is a very different spin. As a matter of fact, I have it on my hand here. I was just really enjoying the dry down of this fragrance. It's really nice. Now, I enjoyed Fierce back in the day. Like when you walked in an Abercrombie & Fitch store, that's what you smelled. You smelled Fierce in the air. Like teenagers into their 20s, this was the panties dropper, well, the OG was anyway. Now, if you're looking for something that's a little bit more mature, a little bit more dressed up, a little bit darker, and still be mass appealing, Reserve is definitely going to be a great pick. Some of the notes in this are going to be sage, amber, whiskey, and leather. The leather note in this is going to be a very, very wearable leather. So if you're, kind of on the fence about leather fragrances, this is not going to be one of those more animalic type leathers. It's mixed really well. It's blended nicely. Pretty upscale for, the price tag on this. Next fragrance has been featured before. I had it listed as one of my really masculine kind of bad boy fragrances. And sadly, yes, it is getting ripped from the shelves. So if you guys, are looking for this fragrance, go ahead and snatch it up because it will eventually vanish unless you go to eBay and see it for a stupid price. I'm talking about Dark Rebel from John Varvatos. This one is dark. It's a little bit boozy, a little bit spicy. Definitely a man's man fragrance. Now, like the Dark Rebel Rider, that one is still readily available. That's the one that looks like it kind of has like the leather jacket zipped up around it. I actually prefer this one much, much more, and this one actually has pulled me some compliments, surprisingly. It doesn't really seem like a scent profile that's, you know, like really mass appealing, but yet, you know, I don't know, it just depends on, I guess, your personality and what type of company you're around. It's not like a compliment magnet or anything. I'd say it's a little more mass appealing than some would expect. I'm not saying like crazy mass appealing, but for this type of scent profile, it's really nice. Now this one has rum, cardamom, leather, black pepper, and vanilla as some of the notes. Next fragrance has two of my favorite notes in the title. It is Banana Republic, tobacco, and tonka bean. This is a very fresh and fruity fragrance mixed with some tobacco and tonka bean. On the opening, you're gonna get some plum and some pear, which makes it kind of a sweet and juicy opening, mixed with a creamy coconut with tobacco leaf. So it's not going to be like a darker tobacco, it's going to be more like tobacco leaf. And as that coconut and the tobacco leaf mixed with the plum and the pear just really has like a very gourmandy opening. But on the dry down, it seems to settle a little bit, and of course, you know, blends with that tonka bean. But overall, I would classify this more as a gourmandish type fragrance versus like your regular tobacco fragrances. And this is actually one I find myself reaching for more and more, especially like on those days that I'm going to work and I don't want to spray those high price tag ones. This one you can get at a song and it's still very readily available, so you won't have any trouble finding this one and spraying heavy if you want to, because the projection isn't fantastic on this, but another one that you can afford to spray a little more liberally. Next fragrance is a warm, spicy, rich, and exciting fragrance if you like coffee fragrances. Yes, I'm talking about Halloween Man X. First impressions and so on and so forth. Every time I spray this, I love the dark and rich coffee note that's in this. It's, I know some people say it's like, synthetic. On that opening, it does seem a little bit synthetic, but it doesn't bother me. Sometimes those synthetic openings are like, okay, I gotta just tough through it, and then, you know, you'll work it out. I actually like the opening on this. It's got that blackjack accord, which is leather, coffee, and whiskey. And I've had numerous people hit me up in the comments like very, very excited about this one as well, especially for, you know, $20 to $25 is usually about what this goes for. It also has some cardamom in here, and it also has a little bit of cinnamon. So this is a nice little concoction, and it is going to be more of like that dark, bold, rich, like espresso type coffee note. And for the price tag on this, it gets pretty decent performance. So I mean, a lot of times people, and I keep, you know, kind of harping on the performance a little bit, because a lot of people will be like, how long are you getting on this? How long are you getting on that? You know, I'm not giving you like hour numbers or whatever, you know, like not like hours, but hours, you know, on the clock there. But this fragrance does last longer than other fragrances in its price range. Let's just put it like that. Next fragrance is a smooth and seductive fragrance that pulls me a lot of compliments, and it's one that I've never featured on this channel before. It's Catarina Herrera 212 VIP Black. This one actually has like a nice magnetic cap to it, kind of a sleek looking bottle. I really like the bottle design. I mean, I don't overly get into too much of a twist about, especially like some of the designer ones, you know, you kind of get what you get, but this actually feels like a pretty classy presentation to match the scent that goes with this. Now, a lot of the CH fragrances are more on the compliment pulling side, and this one is going to be right up there. Actually, this one pulls more compliments than CH Man Privé for me personally. You're going to get a really smooth lavender mixed with a very smooth musk, and then you've got a little bit of vanilla in here to kind of sweeten things up. So, you know, a lot of these sweeter fragrances or slightly sweet fragrances are those that, you know, kind of pull people in for those, you know, compliments and attention. This is a very attention grabbing fragrance. Yeah, I'm actually really digging this one a lot, and not a bad atomizer on this either. This is a really underrated fragrance that I don't see a whole lot of talk about. And I mean, I know like the 212 line has a few of them, but this one is actually my favorite for winter. Coming in at number 2 is a very, very unique fragrance. It is not following any type of trends or anything at all as far as like designer fragrances go. I found that this one is like more of like a niche scent profile. It's Moschino Toyboy. I actually did a full review on this a while back. I'll leave the link for that video right here. Now this one may be a little bit complicated or kind of complicated, just depends on how you guys do with like floral fragrances. Now it's not solely floral, but right off the top you're gonna get some rose in here. You're also gonna get some musk. So it's like a spicy floral musk fragrance that is very unique. Not really one that I would say that would be like that compliment pull or anything. This is gonna be one that you like for yourself. Now it also has some clove in here, so if you're not a fan of cloves, you definitely want to at least sniff this and see if you like it. But for uniqueness and being, a fragrance that's done with rose, which done in certain ways, I absolutely love. I feel that this fragrance should hold like a lot of weight for just being a very well put together fragrance. Very unique fragrance, just not following any type of trend or anything. So that's why I've got this in at number 2. So other than rose and clove, you're gonna get some nutmeg, sandalwood, and musk. Coming in at number 2 is a warm, spicy, and sexy leather fragrance that is just really getting a lot of wear for me. I have put a huge dent in this already, and I had a 100 ml bottle and like a dummy wound up selling it, so I had to buy a 50 ml. I'm talking about Ombre Leather from Tom Ford. Now, as you know, Tom Ford is all about that sexiness. And what they did with Ombre Leather, for those of you who felt like Tuscan leather was, a little bit too abrasive, this is a little bit fresher. It's a little bit more palatable, if you will, and it will actually pull some compliments. I absolutely love this fragrance. And for somebody who used to not be a huge fan of leather fragrances, this is ticking way on up there. That's why it's coming in at number 2. So some of the notes in this are going to be leather, patchouli, jasmine, and amber. Now this will be the most expensive out of the lot, but actually the price of this is coming down as well. So just be smart, look around. There's still sales going on. So yeah, especially from now until Christmas, there's a really good chance that you might find a good deal on the Ombre Leather. Coming in at number 1 is a sweet, spicy, and fresh fragrance that also has some leather in it. It is Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo Signature. Now, I love the OG, but the Signature has just like dug its way right into my heart. This is a perfectly blended fragrance with just a hint of leather, just like through it. On the opening, it is a very fresh combo of some citruses with some mandarin and grapefruit. This one also has some spice of cinnamon and cardamom. In the mids, it's a bit herbaceous, a little bit green, but the sweetness from those opening notes are mixed with that, so it doesn't come off, like super green. It just has some nice evolution to this. So it's like fresh, herbaceous, and then it's got some body and depth in the base with some leather, coffee, and tonka bean. The dry down on this is amazing. The opening on this is amazing. This is an amazing fragrance, and actually like probably one of my absolute favorite designer fragrances, period, right now. It's just, I'm really enjoying this, and not a whole lot left. I bought this in the 30 ml. I noticed it was selling out a lot, and the OG is like super hard to find right now. So yeah, this is getting some hype. This might have been predictable because I know that like I've been seeing it like pop up on Instagram nonstop, but it is worth the hype, worth the praise. If you haven't got your nose on this one, you definitely need to. So that's going to wrap it up for 10 designer fragrances that I am super hyped about wearing this winter. Let me know down in the comments, what is like an underrated gem or just your go-to designer winter fragrance for 2020. Until next time, I'll see you on Carolina Fragrance Reviews.